Today's Hallyu People guest may have become widely known through Netflix's Singles Inferno Season 5, a popular Korean dating reality show. But long before that, he had already built an impressive career at the forefront of AI, finance, and technological innovation. From working as an engineer at Google to becoming a quant trader in New York, Lee Sung-hun, or Samuel Lee, has continuously challenged himself on the global stage. And he's joining us now in the studio. Welcome, Sung-hun.
Hi, Sung-hun.
Hi.
All right, Sung-hun, we're very happy to have you here on the show. So first and foremost, please introduce yourself a little bit to our viewers.
Yeah, so my name is Sung-hun Lee. I'm born in Korea, but I grew up in the United States. I studied computer science and math at UC Berkeley, and then worked in the field of AI at Google and Amazon, and then now I work in a niche field called quantitative trading in New York.
Wow.
Most people know me from Singles Inferno, but I'm from the Silicon Valley.
Wow, so from the Silicon Valley to Singles Inferno, I would say that's what you call an overachiever or omtsina in Korean a lot. Probably you get that a lot, right?
No.
No?
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, many people probably know you from Netflix Singles Inferno 5. So how has your life changed since you've appeared on the show?
I think my day-to-day is the same. I'm still working every day and still learning and building new things, but I guess the only difference is people recognize me more, and I get to go on these kind of things if I want to. So it's more dynamic. My life is more dynamic now. Yeah.
And actually, how did you end up joining Singles Inferno?
They reached out to me through a friend that was working in the industry, and I just interviewed and just said yes.
Okay,
I guess,
great.
Sounds great. And I mean, the show received tremendous attention globally. So could you please tell us about some of the memorable comments that you've experienced or any experience that you went through?
On the show? I think it's like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I wish everyone can experience it. You go on an island and you kind of, you don't have any worldly things, like you don't have your phone or anything. So you really get to learn about human interaction, and it sounds kind of robotic, but you really learn about emotions and
How about some of the memorable comments from your fans?
The comments.
Or experiences that you've met them?
No, I think everyone's been very supportive, and what's interesting is a lot of the fans are from countries I've never visited, and sometimes in languages that I don't know. So it's surprising how global this thing is, and how people can connect with me.
Wow. And speaking of Korea going global, I mean, you've grown up in the US, so you've had the opportunity to experience this Korean culture abroad. So what do you think makes Korea kind of unique and stand out for appealing to international audiences?
Yeah, so I think South Korea has come a long way. And this is coming from someone that's grew up in the United States, and so I know more about US culture, but growing up when I was younger, people would mistake South Korea for North Korea. They didn't know much about Korea in general, but what's interesting now is that people really know South Korea, particularly due to the culture, like K-pop and K-dramas and whatnot. So I think what makes Korea unique is Korea has its own identity, and it doesn't become westernized or try to be another country. It's very unique to itself.
Yeah, I mean, mixing up South Korea and North Korea, I got that all the time when I was in Germany back in the years as well,
in
right?
Canada as well, yeah.
And these days, my German friends eat tteokbokki, and they know about the biggest K-pop stars. But Sung-hun, not only K-pop and K-dramas these days, but also Korea's technological capabilities and also the startup ecosystem, all of that is receiving global attention as well. So, from your experience in the tech industry, what do you see as Korea's greatest competitive advantage in the tech field?
So Korea, I think, has a lot of strong talent in general in all the fields, and particularly in engineering. And I think Korea is a very fast-paced country. It's kind of tangential, but even in the food industry, things move very fast and trends die and spawn really quickly. And I think that kind of translates to other industries as well. It's very fast, so. And it's a very hardworking country as well. So even though our population size is only 50 million, yeah, very, very strong talent here. Yeah.
I believe you're also a very hardworking person. Do you think that's in your blood, in your Korean blood?
I think so, actually, yeah. So even in the Silicon Valley, there weren't many Koreans, but when I do see them, they were very hardworking and, yeah, inspired by some of those folks. Yeah.
Definitely. And so as Korea has become this global cultural powerhouse through K-contents, do you believe that it can also be a leading force in the AI industry, AI era as well?
So I think Korea, so the Korean population is very small, 50 million, and it's a very small country. And I think it's already punching above its weight in the field of AI. So when we think of AI now, you think of companies like Anthropic or OpenAI or DeepMind, so all the frontier labs. But you know, below those companies is a software stack, like all the software that they produce and research, and below the software is a hardware stack. So without the hardware, you can't do research in AI. And the hardware is like, you know, NVIDIA created the GPUs. And it's a lesser known, but Google made the TPUs, which are the tensor processing units, which I've worked on at Google. So both of these accelerators are used for, you know, training models in AI and do frontier research. And you know, what's interesting is that on those hardware, on the silicon, is a piece of hardware called HBM. It's called high bandwidth memory, and it's becoming increasingly important to you know, scale that. And it's a very important piece of hardware, and the majority of that is created by, you know, Korean companies like SK Hynix or Samsung.
That's
So,
why we
yeah.
recently had Jensen Hwang as well visiting Korea, because Korea is definitely going global in the AI industry as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Sung-hun, let's go back to you a little bit. So after graduating from UC Berkeley, and then you worked at Google Brain and Amazon AI. So, I mean, you worked at all these leading world tech companies. So what are some valuable lessons that you learned at those places?
So I don't think there's anything particularly special about those places. I think it's more like, you know, even if it's a startup, you know, I would try to, I learned that, you know, there's actually only a handful of people that are, you know, driving the industries, and I think it's great to have those kind of mentors. So find those mentors and who are kind of driving the industries and learn from them is what I've learned. Yeah.
Okay, and then later you went into the world of quantitative trading in New York. And what motivated you to shift your career from AI engineering to financial engineering, if we could call it a shift?
So those two industries are very similar. So you know, the field of AI, the field of quantitative trading, is actually very similar to the AI labs you see now. Like, you know, the more notable companies are like Jane Street or Hudson River Trading. These are like kind of like the, you know, one of the biggest companies in the world for quantitative trading. And I think, you know, my company and these companies all probably are starting to look like frontier labs, like AI research labs. And my guess is that within the next few years, you know, all of the trading firms that are competent will probably look like AI labs. Obviously, we're applying it to the world of finance to make money, but I think, you know, we're already doing a lot of the similar things, and it requires the same skill sets. But yeah, the reason I moved is because, you know, I think the industry has a lot of strong talent. It's a very small industry, but it has a lot of strong talent, and I wanted to be in a more competitive environment, and yeah, that's why I moved.
I see.
Wow, challenge after another. And we've also heard that you've developed AI service as well. So could you please tell us about that as well? And do you think AI will change our daily lives or how we consume contents?
So I think the current state of the world in AI is that, you know, these applications like Claude or, you know, ChatGPT, which the world has access to, they're amazing products. And, you know, if you ask them questions, they can pretty much answer anything. But I think what's missing now is kind of, you know, an AI that can act in the real world. So, you know, if you ask ChatGPT to do simple things like, you know, book you a restaurant at you know, on Friday in Seoul, or, you know, find me a nice, you know, airplane ticket, somewhere around the world. It can't do that, and those are very simple tasks. So what I'm building is called Rumi AI. It's what I like to call an action operating system. It's basically an agentic AI that can act for you in the real world and do things for you. And it's accessible through your phone without any login or sign up, through KakaoTalk or iMessage. Anywhere in the world can access to it, and have their personal agent that can act for you. Yeah. So I think the world can improve by having I think humans just need more time to be creative. And AI can do these tasks for us that require meaningless time, I guess.
So that's pretty intriguing to hear, because while more and more people are reliant on AI these days, it looks like you're focusing on humans to become, just be more human while using the AI. But now, Sung-hun, you've worked as an AI engineer, a quant trader, and you're also now a television personality. So it looks like you've been stepping out of your comfort zone quite a lot. So is there anything you learned from that, or what kind of, what experiences shaped you the most if you look back?
I think, before I went on the show, I think I was a pretty, I usually just stayed home and, just did my own thing at home and just go to work and whatnot. But I think after, I went on television and whatnot, I became a more holistic person, learning more about, different things outside of my industry. So I think the most recent experiences just in the past year have been shaping me a lot and who I am, and, getting me out of the bubble that I was in, either in the Silicon Valley or in New York. So, yeah.
Now, Sung-hun, we mentioned NVIDIA before, and Jensen Huang, and he actually was on one of the biggest, maybe the most famous talk show right now in Korea, U-Quiz. And I'm going to ask you a similar question to the one that the MC, the host, Yoo Jae-seok, asked to NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang. So, Sung-hun, where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
I think just doing the same things, learning new things, trying to, improve the world, making the world more efficient. Yeah, just doing my own thing, I guess. Yeah.
Sounds very simple, but it's very ambitious, and we really hope that you do, help the world in becoming more efficient with all the things you do. And maybe would you have a final message to people out there, maybe young people who want to be aspiring engineers or quant traders?
I think, so what I've noticed for young people, I mean, I'm young as well.
I know you're still young.
People younger than me, I guess, that are just getting a new job, is that they have something called imposter syndrome. So they would go, to these big firms and think that they can't make an impact. But I think what I've learned, and from my peers as well, who has been tremendously successful, is anyone can do anything. And just because someone's 20 years older than you and has more experience, doesn't mean you can't make as much impact, or if not more. So I think just kind of believe in yourself, believe in what you've learned, general problem-solving skills and creativity, and you can kind of do anything. Yeah, or beat anyone in the field, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Sung-hun, for sharing your story with us today. We really wish you the best in your career and life. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you, Bella. As always, we're going to have you here pretty soon.
Yes, I'll see you soon.